Feels like love, Cupid made a shot.
Hi guys, welcome and welcome back. So in today's video we are going to talk about stamping. I just want to go over the basics of stamping if you're new to it, and how to pick up an image, how to transfer it to a nail, just literally the basics. And that's all this video is going to be, just like a little stamping 101. So I took out 3 different plates. We have a kads plate here. This is Fashion 093. And then we have this plate here that I literally picked up from Dollar Tree. I just want to see if it works. And then we have this plate here that is from AliExpress. Now, it doesn't matter where you get your stamping plates. To be honest, yes, it does. It can matter. If you've noticed you got a stamping plate from like not a non-reputable brand, like AliExpress, for instance, we just don't know like really who's all creating these things. So what the issue can be with them, they may not be etched very well. These are all engravings, and that is what you want your stamping polish to stick into. So if that's not engraved a little bit deep, as they should be a little bit etched, so your polish has something to go into the grooves, that is going to be so difficult to pick up your images. And a lot of times it can cause so much frustration because you're like, why is this not working? And it can be your plate. So please keep that in mind when buying plates off of non-reputable brands like AliExpress, Shein, Temu, places like that. If you want a good reputable brand, I believe Kads is a pretty good brand. CJS is a great brand, but I'm not going to lie to you, I buy a lot of my plates off of those non-reputable brands like AliExpress. Most of my plates are from AliExpress, to be honest, Shein, and then Temu. So I'm not gonna lie, that's where I do my shopping, but just know that it might annoy your life a little bit because it just might not be etched that well. So keep that in mind when buying plates from those type of places. Not that they don't work, a lot of them do work perfectly well, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so I also, like I said, I grabbed 2 different plates. I don't know how this one's gonna work from the dollar store, so I thought we would just give her a go in this little video here. So we have our plates ready. Now you're going to want a stamping polish. I personally prefer a stamping polish over a stamping gel. I just don't like the fact that the gel, you have to cure it, and I have issues with it smudging. So I'm not going to be showing that product, but you definitely can stamp with stamping gel as well. Okay, so a stamping gel is something like this. I personally am not going to be showing how to use this. I'm not a huge fan of it. I find it really smudges, and I just haven't really mastered it or played with it enough to learn how to get it to not smudge. So we're not going to be using a stamping gel, but you definitely can stamp with the stamping gel. We're going to be focusing on stamping polish today. Now the main polish that I use is CJS. I have quite a large collection of theirs, but there are different brands. I have a Born Pretty here that I want to play with you guys, as well as the Kads. I actually bought a whole whack of Kads when I first started, and I found that they work pretty decent. So I'm going to show you how that would work as well. Now I did bring out mostly black that we'll be kind of playing with today, but I did bring out 2 reds because some colors, I find, depending on the color and the pigment of it, it can be a little bit harder to stamp with. So I just brought out 2 reds from CJS and Kads. They're, like I said, these are the only 2 brands that I really have a majority of in my studio, or a good variety of. I have a whole set of Kads, but I also have, we're not going to say how many CJS, but I have quite a few CJS, and that is a brand that I actually prefer to use. I find it very easy to use their products. I find that they just work really, really well, and that's just the direction that I wanted to go. But there is so many other different stamping polishes that you can use out there, but these would be the few that I'm just going to play with today. Okay, so now that we got plates, we have a stamping polish. We need something to pick up our images. So I'm going to use 2 different type of stampers today. These are 2 from CJS. Again, these are jelly stampers. They look disgusting, but if you know a way to not have them look like that after using them for a while, let me know. And if I try to take that off with acetone, because that's plastic, it will just make it all cloudy. So it kind of is what it is over time, but they do have these clear jelly stampers, and that's all that these are. They're just literally jelly stampers. And they have like their squishy tops. That's what I prefer to use. There is different style of stampers out there, but I found that these work best for me. Now you can get these off of a lot of different places, Amazon, not so much the brand of this, but you can get the jelly stampers off different ones. Does it matter? Yeah, I would say some qualities do matter, so keep that in mind. But I do have a lot of them from other brands like AliExpress, Shein, and those type of stores as well. It's just the jelly stamper that you want to get. So some are more firm than others. So these are the two we're going to be using today. So another thing you're going to want something to clean off your jelly stampers. Now there's two different things you can use. You can use a lint roll. That's all this is. Mine needs to be changed out. And you can change these out, but just get your lint rolls from like your local Dollar Tree or something. And that is just a sticky tape, and that's all it is, right? It'll clean it off, and when you have an image on it, it will also like take off the image, as well as any lint or anything like that. Now you can also get something like this. It is just a sticky pad. I actually really like the sticky pad from CJS. I actually destroyed my little thing that goes around it. But anyways, I'm just going to show you the pad part. And then you could also just clean it like that. So that's all that is. It's just a sticky pad. So either or, something like that works well. So we have them on the side, as well as something now to lay down our stamping polish. You're going to need something like this, which is a scraper. I'm just sorry, I just wanted to grab a couple different ones. It doesn't have to be a CJS one. But there is different, okay, well, quite mine are CGS. There is different ones, and they all look a little bit different. It is just a plastic type of scraper, and that's all you want is like a hard plastic scraper. I prefer one that's not too bendy, so I like a decent thickness to them. As you see, it's not too bendy. So that's all you're gonna need, something like that. Okay, now that we have them down, I actually really like to grab a little pad. Now all these are actually makeup pads. I get them off of Shein or AliExpress, and it's just like a lint-free sponge type of guy. And I like to use this to wipe off my scraper. I have learned, at least the way I'm learning to do stamping and the way I've kind of like to do it, is I like to put a little extra stamping polish on my plate, so you get quite a bit on your little card. And what I like to do is be able to wipe it off on something so you can kind of keep going and it's just less mess everywhere else. And I reuse them. As you see, I was stamping with that one and I flipped it over, and I'm going to use this side. And what I like to put them on, these are just disposable palettes. Again, you can get them off of Shein, Temu, these type of places, AliExpress. And then I like to set it on something, and that's just to kind of keep it clean in this area. And then I will store it in my little desk area with all my stamping stuff just like this until this side gets gross. Once that side's like that, then I throw it in the garbage, and then I just replace it with a new one. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to need one more thing to clean our plates. Now, how do you clean your plates? What I use is just these little like face sponges. You can get them at your Dollar Tree, you can get them at Costco. I find Costco you get a pretty good deal for a whole whack of them, because you actually are going to run through these quite a bit when stamping. So if you've got a Costco, you're a Costco member, I recommend looking there, because you can actually get a lot more, like all more bang for your buck. But you can get these at your Dollar Tree, dollar store, anything like that, and they're just like the little face cleaner thing majigs. So for these, what I like to do is, like, again, you're gonna grab a whole whack. So I like to put them on something. Now this is just a soap holder from Dollar Tree, and that's what I like to be able to put them all on for now. And what I will do with them, I'll show you in a minute. So I want to have this on my desk, and the reason I'm just going through and telling you everything I want to get ready is because stamping is a very fast thing. You can't be too slow with it. Your image will dry on your plate, so you want to have your whole desk ready to go, kind of prep before you're going to start stamping. So it's so much best to have all these products out, and then that way you just don't have to stress, and you have everything in like arm's reach. So we have our pads there. What I recommend, if you can, if you don't, it's not a big deal. If you can, I like to get a little desk garbage, and I actually just got this at my local like thrift store, my secondhand store, and it's just like a fake little dish. So that way I can throw all my pads in it and keep my desk a little bit cleaner, because we're going to be working with acetone, and that's another thing I want to be pointing out. This is the time to bring out acetone. This is 100% acetone, and that is all you need for stamping. You do not want to bring out your alcohol. I don't know what it does, but it actually does something to your plate. It almost gives it like a different film over top of it, and it's harder for your image to pick up and transfer. So honestly, put the alcohol away. Don't even have it on your station. So you're going to want your acetone, and you can have it in a bigger bottle, or you can have it in your little pump bottle. This is the time to get that out. So what I like to do with this is make sure you have it on your thing. And again, that's why I actually like to have the garbage, is that way you can put your dirty sponges in there when you're done with them, instead of having them all over your desk, because it is acetone we're working with, and acetone eats through everything. So I also recommend something for your desk. A little desk protector comes in handy. And I like to use this little mat to keep my stamping plate on. Now I bought this, I think a Shein a long time ago. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna have a link. It is so small, I didn't realize it was that small then, but I absolutely love it for stamping. I actually will end up putting my plate on it, and then that way if I scrape, it goes on this, and it's just so easy to clean because it's just a silicone mat. So I really like actually that it worked out great for me for it even to be this size. Okay, so I think that we have everything there. What I'm going to do quickly is I want to prep these. You do not have to do this. It's just something I like to do. Because if I put my acetone in a container, it will actually just dry up. So I just like to go over and prep a couple of my sponges just so they're kind of ready for me. Now, don't get me wrong. You might need more of this in a little bit, but at least that way they're kind of ready for me prepped. Okay, so I have my scraper. And again, you can put a little bit of acetone even right here on your sponge. And that will help just clean your scraper off. Okay, that guy's good. Okay, so now stamping plates. You might be like, girl, why is this one kind of see-through and silver and these are blue? Now, if you have got a stamping plate, most of them will come like this. That is a little film. It's protecting your stamping plate. You have to take that off before you can even start stamping. That is a really big thing. So you just get your little guys and then you can peel that off. Okay, and now we're going to take it off this because I just want to show a couple different stamping ways. Now, I don't know, this plate might not work very well, so I wanted to grab a couple of plates just in case so we have them ready. So take off the blue film, that is now garbage. So now we have a couple plates ready. Let's just go ahead and we'll try this kads plate first. Now we're just going to use the black polish for now. Well, we'll probably do both. So another thing what I recommend, now this is just a personal preference. I find it a lot easier to work with on a matte surface. So I like to matte out my nails. I just got a couple nails ready and I put a matte top coat on it. I actually really love the gel-in matte top coat for stamping. It just doesn't have that like velvety texture to it, and I like that. I actually do not recommend a velvet textured matte top coat for stamping, but it really is whatever you prefer. I just find that the image transfers nicely, and you want to go over your nail with something. If you just go over with your regular polish, if you mess up, you're going to be wiping it off with acetone, and then that can discolor your polish if you have nothing protecting it, in my opinion. So I just grabbed a couple nails that I prepped here first. So this is our plate. What I like to do from jump, this is a brand new plate. I'm going to get my acetone little soaked sponge guy here, and I'm just going to wipe my plate off. And that's just kind of cleaning any oils, anything like that that is on the plate. Getting it ready for me. Okay. So I'm going to kind of keep you guys like this. I hope that's fine. If I need to zoom in, hopefully I can just do it later. Okay, so like again, we have 3 different polishes here. I'm going to use CJS at the beginning because this is to me like a foolproof polish. Not that you'll never have bad stamping days. Oh my god, there's no such thing as a bad stamping day. So if something's just not working that day, it could be a bad stamping day. So got some polish on. Let's just go with the little dots. They're kind of cute. I put that much. Like I said, I like to put a little extra. It's just my preference. And then I'm going to wipe off my scraper, my sponge, grab our big bling, so our bigger one, and then I'm just going to kind of roll. Now I can already tell that that did not pick up. See my little circles? It didn't pick up very well. So all I'm going to do is just go over with something sticky, and then it sticks on there. Now that could have been a me issue. It probably was, because this plate seems pretty etched. Okay, so let's just try it again. Okay, I think we finally got a good transfer. Now I'm just going to take my same little scraper and I'm going to take off what I don't want. If you can, I recommend trying to do that. It just will make your life a lot easier. Now get your nail. And because of this image, I'm going to work this way, and I kind of roll it. Now, you don't want too much pressure, but you want a little bit of pressure. Okay, so now that our image is where we want it, there you go. Now, it not being straight, that is on me. It is not on the stamping polish at this point. So also two things that I recommend you invest in are these two little guys. Now this is a eyelash glue thingamajig, and this is a lipstick applicator. These are great for stamping to remove your images or anything that's touched around it. Or you can put a little bit of acetone in a small damping dish. Okay, so we're just going to want to take off any little things that we didn't want. And that's why those things are so great. So there we go. We have our perfect little circles. Everything transferred. Amazing. Like I said, the crookedness, that's on me, guys. That's not on the stamp polish. So that's like a good little one. What you would want to do, say if you're done, you could go over it with your top coat. I recommend giving it a few seconds. That way it can fully dry and then your top coat not smudge. Now there is some top coats that just smudge stamping polish. Some brands have their own. So keep that in mind. We're not going to really go over that today. Okay, so now we've done a little CJS. I'm going to just not work with CJS for a minute because that is a really well-known stamping polish brand. Let's work with something a little bit more affordable. We can do the kads. Now I'm going to try this little image here, this little sweater print image. And then I like to have this little thing, which is actually a soak-off dish. I love that to be able to put my stamping polish in. I feel like it just works so well for me. That didn't pick up the best, so I think we're just going to do it again. So I didn't use enough polish. It's looking like up top. And that's why I feel like when you're stamping, I don't know, more is better. In my opinion. Because like I feel like that would have been a perfect stamp if I just would have had a little bit more polish. So again, go over, wipe. Now, okay, that's good. I like a roll system. Oops, almost took it right off. So we're gonna grab another nail, and again, we're working a little bit fast because stamping polish is an air dry product. It will dry pretty fast. Perfect. So that is a pretty good transfer in my opinion. I like the way that that came out. Again, if it's crooked, then that's just my business. Okay, you're going to want to line up where you have your things and how you want them, particularly before. But remember, you are working on a little bit of a time frame. You don't want to be too slow because it will dry and then, well, it's going to be harder to transfer. I've heard that you can use, if you use a sticky polish, that helps transfer it to give you a little bit more time. But today we're going over the basics. So the basics is just that, basic. How to get our basic image to transfer. Okay, we can go ahead and use Born Pretty's black now. Let's just do this image. Can use our littler stamping, and again, so there we are. Pretty decent. Is a little smudgy up top, and I think that is, I can even tell. Look, I left a little too much polish up there. I can just maybe take it off right now. Sorry. And that's how you could get an image like that. So not bad. A little dollar store plate picked up perfectly fine. Let's try that again. I'm going to try the same image. This way I can see what that was all about up top. If it's just actually a piece of the image. Which actually I think it is now that I can see this again. Make sure that you're wiping off your stamper every time before picking up a new image. Preferably before you lay down your stamping polish. That's risky business to do it that way. Okay, again, I like a roll or a roll. So whatever you feel comfortable, if you want to go top, bottom, side to side, back and forth. I like to roll the image because again, a nail is not flat down. You don't want to just be like on it. I think it's too hard. I think if you just kind of roll, like I said, it doesn't really matter what direction, roll with your image, but I'm a roller when it comes to putting an image down. And I actually think that it's just supposed to be a little bit darker up top. I can see, I think, is that a hook? Yeah, so one little piece right there, I can tell did not transfer. But again, it might just be I didn't have enough polish. That could have dried very, very quickly. All these things you have to take into consideration when you're stamping. It's an air dry product, so it's gonna dry pretty fast. So let's go ahead and play with other colors. Blacks are black. We know that they're pretty dark. So let's go ahead and pick up one of these little flowers over here. We're gonna use the red. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, pretty. Okay, and then let's just go in the corner. Make it so it's coming down. There we go, perfect transfer. And then we have a little image. See, I think kads polish works really well, in my honest opinion. That is why, like, well, I can't say that's why I bought it. I bought that, it was my first stamping polish I bought until I switched over to CJS. CJS just has a crazy variety. They have a really, really like wide variety, where some of the brands just don't have that wide of a variety. But I really like the way that kads stamping polish works. I find it works pretty decent. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll pick up another image. We can put something, maybe put this little butterfly down at the bottom. We'll go with the CJS red. Oh goodness, I really have to wipe that off. Eee. And you can go over it twice if you feel you need to. Okay, perfect. Again, you can use your glove or you can use your little thing to take off the excess. And there we go. Cute little butterfly. Not just the cutest. Again, let's clean our thing. It's always good if we can remember to clean it right away, because I don't recommend putting your polish down and now you're like, oh my god, I gotta clean my stamper, I gotta do this. That will trip you out and it'll freak you out. It does me still to this day. So, but it's sometimes you just, a lot goes on when you're stamping. I think that's the thing. A lot of things happen at the same time with stamping. So keep that in mind. It's okay to be kind with yourself when stamping. Take your time. It's a process. There's a lot of different elements to stamping. Remember, you got to put your polish down. You got to swipe it. You got to pick up the image. Make sure your thing's clean. Know where you want to put it on the nail. I think that's a whole other video of how to place them and try to get like full scenery vibes. I think that is a super cool way of stamping, and that's like the best way to use stamping. You can just see like almost like a scenery or something, but that takes practice and skill. So again, so now we're down to one wipe. Like I said, you really go through quite a bit of these, so if you can have them ready, I find it helps me not feel so overwhelmed. And your hands get really dirty, so this is not the time that you want to be in and out of your drawers touching other stuff, because you might get polish on it. And I think that's why all these get gross over time, is because I have polish on my fingers, which happens. It happens to the best of us. Okay, I'm just going to pre-soak. I'm going to go ahead and give it a wipe. I'm going to get any oils, anything that we've touched it with our skin off of it. Look. Don't even know why it's dirty, but it was dirty. And all that can affect your transfer. So it's always good to prep and clean them first. Now let's just prep our stampers. And how you prep your stamper? Take everything off of it. Oops. Okay, so now we have a nail ready. Now this is getting kind of gross, and you can tell here that this will get gross very fast. So you want to keep your stamper kind of clean. So take breaks when you can to give it a wipe, because that is also going to interfere with scraping your product down. This is gonna get gunky real fast. Okay. Perfect. Try to get a clean area of one. Now let's keep using the red. Let's keep with kads. Let's just find a little image. I don't know why this little, let's go here. It seems like it wants to be cute. Ooh. Get our big bling. And nothing. And that's the thing, because I know that this plate, out of with experience, is not the best plate. That is why I actually brought this plate out. This is an AliExpress plate, and it's not nothing. I just feel like it's not etched that well. So we're gonna keep trying a few more times, and I want to push my product in it, get our stamper. A better image transfer there. We're still missing some of the heart. Let's put it down just so we can see. So there is some of the heart missing, so technically that is not a good transfer. You would not want to use that one because, well, it's not fully there. But this plate, I do honestly feel, in my opinion, is not the best etched plate. Now, does that mean, oh my god, I can't use the plate? Of course not. That means it might bejeez your soul a little bit until you get the right transfer. And that's all. And again, I do feel more is better when it comes to laying down your product. It's just my opinion. A lot of people will say that's wasting polish. I get it. I get it. But that's also my business. See? Nothing. Not the best transfer. I'll show you. It's a little easier to see here. Again, not the best because it's just not as dark as everywhere else. We're missing a half a hand. There's a few things there missing. But if we look at our image, all the polish is in there, so it's not that it's not. And I think, again, this is why a lot of people get frustrated with stamping. And they're like, oh my god, like, it's just not picking up. What is going on? What am I doing wrong? It might not be you doing anything wrong, right? It really does matter the quality of your plate. So be mindful when you're buying stamping plates that ain't 100% sure or guarantee that it's going to work when you're getting these stamping plates from like non-reputable brands. Like Kads is a stamping polish company. I see them all over. They actually have their own stamping polish. CJS, stamping polish company. So their plates, when they come out with that, they know what they're doing. They're made for that. You know, some companies, again, like anything else, there's knockoff versions of everything in the world, including stamping plates. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. So it just might not be the best. So be mindful of that when going down that road. It might not be you, love. It just might be the plate is a piece of poop. Ugh. And didn't do it again because I'd played with this plate before and being so excited for it, and I had such trouble. Let's try Piglet. Getting some of these images to transfer. It was so frustrating me. Okay, good. It picked up everything. Slow. Slow and nothing. Okay, rude. Okay, we need more. And when I mean you run through these, you run through these. That's why if you can get them in bulk, I recommend it because you'll probably go through a whole sleeve. Just playing around. Okay, so let's go back to a very well-known brand, even though I do believe Kads is a very good stamping polish brand as well. Let's get Big Bling because I feel like you're picking up a little bit better. Okay, well, Piglet gave us some stuff. But that's not a good transfer. Not at all. So, in my opinion, this is a plate issue. Because let's go right back to... Let's go back to this Kads plate. let's use a red. Do we have another nail? Let's get like a crazy design here. Let's get this guy up here. And if I have a full image, yes, I like to go cover a good amount of that image. And then I will go in and go over it. So this is a beautiful transfer. Beautiful. So take off our edges, get our nail, line it up, and push down. That's beautiful. Love, love, love. Okay, so let's say we want to do a full cover. Now, again, I'm not going to go over placement of how to place your polishes, how to get like all these full cover images, and where should you, where shouldn't you put it. All that I think is a little bit more of an advanced, and you'll get better at that also when you're playing and just see what you like and what you don't like when it comes to placement. But for instance, say we're just going to do a full cover. Even though I actually didn't need all that, I could have done half of that. Oops. Oops, I don't know if that's even going to pick up now. Look at that. And that is like a testament to how good that plate is, as well as the polish, for me to mess with it that many times and it actually pick up. So we did a full image. I'm going to flip my image to where I was. No, I lied. I'm not going to, because that goes down like this. So now I'm going to take off these little pieces. Kind of line it up the best of my ability. And then there we go. And if you see some picking up on the side, just tap it in. And that will be your full image. And that's so cool what you can achieve with stamping. Could have been over a little bit here, so be mindful of how wide your images are. Sorry guys, it's hard for me to talk apparently today. So be mindful of that. Like again, placement when you're doing it, be mindful of the whole size of the nail. But that is how you could get a full image. Most of the times if you just take off a small piece, and then you could be able to line it up pretty perfect. Wanted to go over the basics. So in my opinion, does stamping polish matter the brand? Of course it does. Some brands, again, if it's a non-reputable brand, well then I just don't know. I guess you're taking a risk with non-reputable brands. And I mean that in a way of, okay, for instance, I'm going to use Born Pretty. Born Pretty is not a stamping polish company, but they have a stamping polish line. So they went ahead and they did a stamping polish with plates. They did their whole little line with their polishes. Like, to me, Born Pretty is a gel polish brand, but they have stamping polish line. So to me, that's a reputable brand with a reputable polish. Now for kads, I do believe, and no, I didn't do my research prior, but I'm pretty like 85% positive kads is a stamping polish brand, and that's what their specialty is. I believe they do have regular polish as well. It's like gel polish, but they have a whole line of CAD stamping plates, CAD stamping polishes. So to me, that is a reputable stamping brand, and it works very well in my opinion. I have no problem working with CAD's polish. I find it transfers very well. Again, I have a whole set of theirs with a lot of beautiful different colors. And CJS, again, that is a stamping polish brand. It is known for stamping polish. Clear jelly stamper, that is what CJS is classified as, is clear jelly stamper, sorry. So it is a stamping polish brand. Now they do have plates. I have a couple of their plates, not a lot. And you will notice in general when you're going for brands that are what they're for, like kads, they're not the cheapest to buy, even on AliExpress. That's where I get them. You can go to their actual website though and buy them out there as well. But I get a lot of mine off AliExpress. But I know it's coming from the CAD store and it's a CAD's plate. So it's not the cheapest out of all the stamping plates. Like, I'm going to use an example. This probably is not the most correct, but just say this stamping plate cost me $2. This one probably cost me $5. So there is a price difference, but in my opinion, I would much rather pay a little bit more and know that it's going to work rather than be so affordable that it's just annoying my life and it doesn't really work. Because it's just going to be useless in a sense. Not that you can't get the images. Hey, maybe there's something more you could do. Maybe you could fill it in with gel and flash cure it and try to pick up the image like that. That's something that maybe could work. With the gel stamping polish, I don't know really, but the realness of it is it doesn't transfer that well and it will frustrate you, and you're just not going to want to do it for the most part. At least that's how I know most people are. At least I'm like that. If I have to do it 17 times and I'm not getting anywhere and seeing no progress in it, like, I'm over it. I'm not doing it. So I recommend, if you're going to get into stamping, try to go for a brand that is known for stamping stuff. Go for a stamping polish brand. Again, the CJS is more expensive than a kads brand. But they both work really, really well, in my opinion. I like both of them. I just prefer CJS because they do have a much wider range of colors and plates. They have a whole whack of crazy plates, but also kads has a lot of beautiful plates as well. So on the plate side, not going to say nothing, but on the polish side, they definitely have a wider range of variety of colors and stuff like that. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up. Like 68% is not subscribed, so please hit that subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. And also let me know how you guys like this video. Is there any other stamping videos that you kind of are struggling with and you want me to do a video on it to kind of help you out? Let me know down below. Alright guys, bye!